Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Noemi from Pigeon Art, and today we are in one of my bedrooms because the front room is a little bit noisy. One of the neighbours is getting some concrete poured. Today we are doing another knitting video. I'll be showing you how to purl and then how you use knit and purl stitches together to make different styles such as stocking stitch and rib stitch. And once we know all of these different types of stitches, we are going to be able to actually make something, which will be in another video. If you haven't already and you don't know how to cast on, cast off and knit, go back to my other video, which I'll put in the little card there. While I'm casting on, I'm going to quickly explain why the yarn is all crimped. I had actually started another knitting project. I decided I wasn't going to use it today, so I unraveled it all and decided to reuse the yarn. It's really easy to do, so if you make a mistake or you decide you don't want to make what you were making, all you need to do is pull off all the loops off the needle and just start pulling on the yarn that is attached to the ball. The purl stitch is very similar to the knit stitch, but it's sort of backwards. So the right hand needle will go into the loop, but crossing over the front of the needle rather than the back of the left hand needle. You then thread the yarn that is attached to the ball through the middle of the needles and around the front of the right needle. You now create the stitch by bringing the right needle backwards and picking up the yarn that you just passed over. Then you can slip the original loop off the left needle. You'll notice that the yarn that is attached to the ball will live on the front of the right needle this time instead of the back of the right needle, which is what happens when you're knitting. So I will go through that again. Right needle over the front of left needle, then pass the yarn through the middle and around the front of the right needle. Then you go backwards to pick up the stitch and then you slip the original over the left needle. You may want to rewatch this few steps while you're getting the hang of it. So if you've gotten the hang of knitting, this shouldn't be too hard for you because it's very similar. Stocking stitch is my favourite because I love the result. To compare, the one on the left is stocking stitch. The one on the right is a knit stitch the whole way through. To achieve stocking stitch, you need to use a purl stitch for a full row, then knit stitch for the full row, and then repeat. So full row purl, full row knit, full row purl, full row knit. Rib stitch. Here I have a comparison. The rib stitch is at the top, the knit stitch is on the left, and the stocking stitch is on the bottom. To achieve a rib stitch, you are going to do 2 knit stitches followed by 2 purl stitches and then repeat. When you are switching between knit and purl, you need to bring the yarn attached to the ball from the back of the needle to the front of the needle. And when you are going from purl to knit, you need to reverse that. So 2 knit stitches, pass yarn to the front, 2 purl stitches, pass yarn to the back, 2 knit stitches, pass yarn to the front, two purl stitches, pass yarn to the back. When you get to the end of the row, you need to work out if you want to start on a knit or a purl stitch. The way you know this is when you look at the first stitch, if it has a loop on the front of the stitch, then it needs a purl. If it has a loop on the back of the stitch, then it needs a knit. If you haven't cast on an even number of stitches, instead of finishing on 2 knit stitches, you finish on 1 knit stitch, you only do 1 purl stitch, and then you switch to the knit stitch. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's all about practice. So once you have the steps memorized, make sure you practice. I hope that was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, please send them on, because I'm more than happy to answer them in future videos. And if today's video was helpful, feel free to like it and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I'm so amazed that you guys watch my videos, and some of them are very long, so that's really nice of you guys. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye!